Thanks, Alyssa. One of the things, I don't have a lot of slides, but if you pull up I've got some photos and stuff that kind of go on with what I'm saying. One of the things when we talk about our teachers in our district, one of the things we really start them early. I know in our high school today, I think Jan started this maybe back when we was either South High. We've got a class called Principles of Teaching through our high school. And right now we've got about 30 seniors that are exploring going into teaching. So we know where they're at, and we've got to list those kids, and we're going to really start trying to do a good job of tracking those kids as they move into Western or Murray State University, or a lot of our kids go to Madisonville Community College. But as we walk these kids through their states, the first thing they got to decide on is whether they're going to go into teaching. And they'll usually make that decision, hopefully some of the help from their senior class, but when they go into college, at some point they'll make the decision to go into teaching. And when they do that, the first time we really get a hold of them is when they come in and do their field experience. In the past, that's been challenging for us. I want them here in our system. And we really did a lot of work this year with Madisonville and some colleges to try to make sure that our kids are able to come to our school system and go into our classrooms and get that experience. That way we get to build some relationships with those kids. So right now, the kids that used to go to Madisonville Community College used to have to do their field experience in Hopkins County and drive to Hopkins County. Well, we got that changed this year, so if a kid is doing their field experience through Madisonville, they can actually be placed here in our system. So they'll get to meet our principals and staff and really get a good idea of what the kids are like in our system. We've asked that also in the past, when our kids would come in to do our time there with their teachers in our room, their background checks wouldn't allow them to actually work with our kids. Basically what we did, we worked out where we can use the background checks now where they can actually come into a class and they can actually work with the kids, whether they're doing some RTI or doing classwork and that type of thing. So we've crossed that hurdle as well. The next big thing is, and our principals do a good job, is to go out of their way to make these people feel welcome. We want them, when they get through with their field experience and go back and we start recruiting them, we want them to come into our system and stay here. So our principals do a really good job with that. But the next thing we tried to work with this year with our teachers as they're doing their field experience is get them their calendars, what's going on at the school, so those kids can participate, those teachers can participate maybe in things like academic meets, science fairs, those things after school. So that's one of the things we've really made a good step forward this year of helping those kids when they come in with their field experience feel welcome and feel part of the school system. Now that they're through that, they go back to college and they decide that they finish up their curriculum, and now we're looking at actually recruiting these kids. So if you can click that thing there, who's got that? There you go. This year, the first time, as part of our strategic plan, we've got district personnel who go out to colleges. I think that is at Western Kentucky University. Greg put that on. Well, we do that at Murray State University through Greg and with Madisonville. So part of that is we actually go out now and try to recruit these young teachers to our school system. In the past, we didn't have to do that. We had plenty of staff. We paid really well, so we kind of recruited ourselves. But now, when we go to these systems, these places, we set up and we talk about the good things that are going on in Muhlenberg County. So we're actually going to these things and recruiting these. So after, let's say this kid, who this lady here is, once we get that information from the career fair, we give those names to our principals so they can follow up when they get ready to look for applicants. They know that these people are interested in maybe potentially coming to Muhlenberg County, and some of them might want to interview. Now that we're looking at hiring these people, let's say this young lady here wants to come to Muhlenberg County. If you'll click the next slide. I get it, okay? Money's a big part of why they come here. That's what we've been dealing with for a couple of years now, is the money situation. And we're working really hard on that. I understand that salaries are a big part of the decision process that any new teacher is looking at when they're looking for employment, whether it's here in Muhlenberg County, whether it's in Hopkins County, Logan County, wherever that is. I'm just telling you, we're working really hard on improving the financial situation where I really feel that soon we're going to be able to get competitive with Hopkins, Logan, and these surrounding counties. So I just want you to know that we're working on that. That's getting better every day. And so We'll see where we're at more toward the end of the year, but I understand that salaries is a big part of the hiring process to recruit these teachers into our area. The next thing that when I talked to, and I talked about 20 new teachers that are coming in this year to KTIP Tuesday. One of the big things is school culture. These teachers know when they come in to look at Muhlenberg County, that they look at the money, what it pays, then they're going to look at individual schools where they're looking at. These teachers talk. They know where the good schools, the culture is, and where they want to go. So it's really important that school culture is huge in determining where a new teacher is going to apply for a job. It could be the deciding factor whether they go here or go to Hopkins County. But teachers, they talk. And several of our schools this year, of the past 2 years, have been participating in book studies and other activities to really develop a foster and a good culture in our schools. So that's another big thing that we're working on, to get these teachers to come into our county to work for our system. All right, let's say we've got this, we went through this process, and we've hired this young lady on the screen, okay? This is her first year. She's hired, she comes into a new school, and she gets KTIP. That's her year where she goes through all the process with the Kentucky Department of Education. What we tried to do this year was really put together in our strategic plan. One of the things we were working on was really bring these people in and get them up to speed on what we expect out of them, and what things they have to do as they come in as a new teacher. As a new teacher, you're overwhelmed. I know when I went into teaching, they pretty well just pitched me the keys and said, good luck. But we spent about an hour and a half with these new teachers the other day. Basically, I want them to know each other so they're all going to be going through KTIP. I wanted them all to know each other so they can call and talk to one another. I wanted them to know our professional development plan that we work with these teachers and what we expect out of them, and the things that they need to train for and look at in the curriculum and in the area they're in. We discussed benefits and leave. They didn't know who to contact if they need to talk about insurance or a workman's comp claim, or whatever they need to talk about. I introduced them to those people, and we gave out phone numbers to them so they knew who to talk to. The big thing that we talked about too was informational districts initiative, like response to intervention, instructional rounds, celebrating student success. I want them to get together and make sure they know they're supported, because when we get them here, we've got to support them. Because if they don't feel supported, they could stand a bigger chance of leaving and going to another district. But one of the big things I heard yesterday when I talked to most of these are young kids, young teachers. A lot of them I had in high school. They're coming back to our county. One of the things I heard over and over is they want to come back to Muhlenberg County because it's a great place to live, to work, and raise a family. That's big. We've got to be able to keep our kids here in the county that want to come back and work with our kids and put down roots in our county. But we've got to continue to work in partnership with the communities in our county. Many of you here tonight have been part of that collaboration we're talking about. You've been invited to one of our buildings as a guest speaker. You may have worked with on work-ready community initiatives, participated in career fairs, or you might have possibly served on a member's advisory committee. The teamwork is important for new teachers to see. These new teachers need to see that our community is working together to make things better here in our community. One good example of this was our recent opening day. Our local chamber of business and Old National Bank wanted to show their appreciation to the school district by hosting a breakfast and a luncheon. And the Martin Foundation provided us a great day, open day speaker. It was a great day, guys. The community's support of teachers travels across this state and region by social media and word of mouth faster than you can snap your fingers. If you don't think the people in Bowling Green and the western part of the state know what the support is with our teachers, you're wrong. They get that. And that's part of the decision that these people come in to recruit. We're recruiting them in. They need to look at the support that our community has. So thank you. This support helps us as a superintendent and as personnel director to recruit new teachers to our county to ensure that Muhlenberg County continues to be a great place to live, and we prepare our children for the future and meet the goals that we're talking about here tonight. Thank you so much for you do for all for our kids in the county. We've got a good place to be. It's going to get better and better and better. Thank you.